You're just a city employee. You work for my dad." Those words hang in the air of Providence Municipal Court like a bomb waiting to explode. The young man who just spoke them stands in front of Judge Frank Caprio with a smirk on his face. His arms are crossed. His chin is tilted up. He looks like he just won something. He has no idea what's coming. If you believe that justice should be equal for everyone, no matter who their parents are, you'll want to see what happens next. Because this case is about to make history. The courtroom is packed today. It's a Wednesday morning. Sunlight streams through the tall windows. The American flag stands in the corner. The seal of Providence hangs on the wall behind the judge's bench. Everything looks normal, peaceful, ordinary, but nothing about this case is ordinary. Judge Frank Caprio sits at the bench. He's 78 years old. His hair is gray. His eyes are kind but sharp. He's been a judge for over 30 years. He's seen everything. Rich people, poor people, angry people, sad people. He treats them all the same. That's why people love him. That's why his court videos go viral. He's fair. He's human. He's real. Today he's going to need all of that experience. The bailiff stands near the door. His uniform is crisp and clean. His hand rests near his belt. He calls out the next case. Case number 2025, TR 94721. The City of Providence versus Derek Hannigan. A woman sits in the front row of the gallery. Her name is Rosa Martinez. She's 52 years old. She works as a home health aide. That means she takes care of elderly people who can't take care of themselves. She helps them eat. She helps them take their medicine. She helps them go to the bathroom. It's hard work. It pays $14 an hour. Rosa has 3 jobs. She works 75 hours every week. She sends money to her daughter, who's in college. Her daughter is studying to be a nurse. Rosa is so proud of her. She tells everyone about her. Rosa is here because of a parking ticket. Actually, 3 parking tickets. She parks on the street near the houses where she works. Sometimes she forgets to move her car for street cleaning. The tickets total $150. That's more than a day's wages for her. She saved up for 2 months to pay them. She brought cash in an envelope. Her hands shake as she holds it. She's nervous. She's never been in court before. She's wearing her best clothes. A simple blue dress. Clean white sneakers. Her hair is pulled back in a neat bun. She sits up straight. Her hands are folded in her lap. Judge Caprio looks at her file. He sees her name. He sees the tickets. He sees that she has no other violations. Not one. Not ever. He's about to call her forward when the courtroom doors slam open. Derek Hannigan walks in. He's 23 years old. Tall. Athletic build. His hair is styled with expensive gel. It's swooped to the side. Every strand is perfect. He's wearing a black Moncler jacket. That's a $900 jacket. Underneath is a white Supreme t-shirt. On his wrist is an Apple Watch Ultra. The orange band stands out. On his feet are Jordan 1 Retro High sneakers in Chicago colorway. Those sell for $2,000 on the resale market. Around his neck hangs a thick silver chain. His AirPods Max headphones rest around his neck. They're still playing music. You can hear the bass from across the room. He's carrying a Starbucks cup. Then he sighs. The barista wrote Derek on the side with a little smiley face. He takes a long sip as he walks down the aisle. He doesn't look at anyone. He doesn't acknowledge the judge. His eyes are on his phone. His thumb scrolls through TikTok. People in the courtroom turn to watch him. Their mouths open slightly. Who walks into court like this? Rosa looks at him. Then she looks away. She knows that kind of person. The kind who thinks rules don't apply to them. She's cleaned houses for people like that. They never say thank you. They never look her in the eye. Judge Caprio watches Derek approach. His face doesn't change, but his eyes see everything. The expensive clothes. The attitude. The complete lack of respect. He's seen this before, but it never gets easier. Mr. Hannigan, Judge Caprio says. His voice is calm. Professional. Please approach the bench. And please put your phone and drink away. Derek doesn't move. He keeps scrolling. Hang on, he says. He doesn't look up. I'm in the middle of something. The courtroom goes quiet. The kind of quiet that feels heavy. Like the air pressure just changed. The bailiff's eyes narrow. His hand moves slightly closer to his belt. The court clerk stops typing. Her fingers hover over the keyboard. Rosa's eyes go wide. Did he just tell the judge to wait? Judge Caprio doesn't raise his voice. He never does. Mr. Hannigan, this is a court of law. You'll show proper respect. Put the phone away. Now. Derek sighs. It's a long, dramatic sigh, like he's being asked to climb a mountain. He slides his phone into his pocket, but he keeps the Starbucks cup. He takes another loud sip as he steps forward. There, he says. Happy. A man in the back row mutters something under his breath. The woman next to him touches his arm. Not yet. Wait. Judge Caprio opens the file in front of him. You're here for case 2025, TR 94721. On February 15th at 2:17 p.m., you were pulled over on Benefit Street for reckless driving. The officer clocked you at 68 miles per hour in a posted 25-mile-per-hour zone. That's 43 miles per hour over the speed limit. In a school zone, while school was letting out. He pauses. He looks up at Derek. How do you plead? Derek shrugs. Not guilty, I guess. He says it like he's ordering food. Like it doesn't matter. You guess. Judge Caprio asks. This is a serious charge, Mr. Hannigan. You were going almost 70 miles per hour near an elementary school. Children were present. Do you understand the danger you created? Derek shifts his weight. He looks bored. Look, I was late for a thing. My car goes fast. That's what it's for. He smirks. Maybe they should raise the speed limit. A woman in the gallery gasps. She covers her mouth with her hand. She has a daughter at that school. She picks her up every day at 2:15 p.m. She was there that day. She could have been in the street. The prosecutor stands. Her name is Maria Chun. She's 34 years old. She's been handling traffic cases for 6 years. She's never seen anything like this attitude. Your Honor, if I may present evidence. Judge Caprio nods. Please proceed. Maria walks to the clerk. She hands over a tablet. The clerk connects it to the courtroom screen. Everyone can see it now. The screen flickers on. This is body camera footage from Officer James Peterson, Maria explains. He's the officer who pulled Mr. Hannigan over that day. The video starts playing. You can see the view from the officer's chest camera. He's sitting in his patrol car. He's parked on a side street near Milton Street Elementary School. Kids are walking out of the building. Parents are waiting on the sidewalk. Crossing guards hold stop signs. Then you hear it. An engine roaring. Getting louder. Getting closer. A white BMW M4 flies past the school. It's moving so fast it's almost a blur. The wind from the car makes the crossing guard's vest flap. A little girl drops her backpack. She jumps back. Her mother grabs her arm and pulls her close. Jesus, you hear Officer Peterson say on the video. His car starts moving immediately. Lights flash on. Siren wails. He pulls onto the street. The BMW doesn't stop. It keeps going. Fast. Weaving between cars. The officer follows. The speedometer on his dashboard shows 55, 60, 65 miles per hour. He's going that fast just to keep up. Finally, 3 blocks away, the BMW pulls over. The officer approaches. His hand is near his weapon. You can hear his breathing. He's alert. Careful. He gets to the driver's window. The window rolls down. Derek's face appears on screen. He's smiling. Not nervous. Not apologetic. Smiling. License and registration, Officer Peterson says. Seriously. Derek's voice comes through clearly. For what? You were doing 68 in a 25. School zone. Children present. Derek laughs. Actually laughs. Dude, my car barely feels that. I was cruising. Step out of the vehicle, please. Why? I'm Derek Hannigan. My dad is Police Chief Brian Hannigan. Maybe you've heard of him. He's kind of your boss. The courtroom erupts. People are talking over each other. Did he just? He pulled the dad card. Are you kidding me? Judge Caprio holds up his hand. Order, please. The room goes quiet again. The video keeps playing. Officer Peterson's voice stays professional. I don't care who your father is. You broke the law. Step out of the vehicle. Derek gets out. He's still holding his phone. This is ridiculous. Do you know how much this ticket will affect my insurance? My dad's not going to be happy about this. That's not my concern, Officer Peterson says. You endangered multiple lives today. There were children present. But I didn't hit anyone, Derek says. He spreads his hands like he's proved something. So what's the problem? The officer starts writing the ticket. Derek leans against his car. He's typing on his phone. You can hear the clicks. Yeah, I'm texting him now, Derek says. You'll probably be getting a call. The video ends. The screen goes black. Judge Caprio looks at Derek. Did Officer Peterson receive a call about this stop? Maria Chin nods. Yes, Your Honor. Multiple calls. From the police chief's office. From 2 city councilmen. From the mayor's assistant. All within 20 minutes of the traffic stop. All asking about case 2025 TR 94721. She hands a document to the clerk. These are the phone records. 7 calls total. All to Officer Peterson's direct line. All from city officials. Derek smiles. It's a small, satisfied smile. Like he's proved his point. See? I told you. My dad handles things. Judge Caprio sets down his glasses. He rubs his eyes. He's tired suddenly. Not physically, but tired in his soul. Tired of this. The corruption. The entitlement. The absolute belief that rules are for other people. Mr. Hannigan, he says slowly. Do you think those calls help your case? Derek shrugs. They usually do. Usually do. Judge Caprio leans forward. You've done this before. Well, yeah. Derek says it like it's obvious. Last year, I got pulled over for running a red light. Dad made a call. Ticket went away. Before that, I got stopped for expired tags. Same thing. 1 call. Gone. He says this in front of everyone. In open court. Admitting to corruption like he's talking about the weather. Rosa sits in the front row. Her hands grip her purse. She paid 3 parking tickets. She worked overtime to afford them. This man admits to having multiple tickets disappear because of his daddy. Her jaw clenches. It's not fair. It's just not fair. Maria Chun speaks up. Your Honor, we have more evidence. May I continue? Please, Judge Caprio says. His voice is tight now. Controlled. But you can hear something underneath. Anger. Building. Maria picks up another document. On February 15th, the same day as this incident, Mr. Hannigan posted on his Instagram account. The account name is Real Derekish. He has 47,000 followers. She hands photos to the clerk. They appear on the screen. It's a picture of the BMW, taken from above. You can see the speedometer. It reads 72 miles per hour. The caption says, rules are for people who can't afford lawyers. Perks of being blessed. Dad's got me covered. The post has 2,341 likes. The comments are full of laughing emojis and fire emojis. One comment says, must be nice. Another says, privilege at its finest. But Derek's response to that one shows on screen. He wrote back, not privilege. Just smart parents. Maybe get better ones. The courtroom explodes. This time Judge Caprio doesn't stop it right away. He lets people react. Because he's reacting too. Inside. Where no one can see. Except they can. It's in his eyes. The disappointment. The disgust. Order, he finally says. The room quiets. Mr. Hannigan. Did you post this? Yeah. Derek doesn't even look embarrassed. It's funny. It's a joke. A joke, Judge Caprio repeats. You think breaking the law is a joke. You think endangering children is funny. You think corruption is something to brag about. I didn't call it corruption, Derek says. He shifts his weight. For the first time, he looks slightly uncomfortable. That's a strong word. What would you call it? Judge Caprio asks. Using your father's position to avoid consequences. Getting tickets dismissed not because you're innocent, but because of who you know. What word would you use? Derek doesn't answer. He looks at his lawyer for the first time. His lawyer is a man named Richard Foster. Expensive suit. Silver hair. He's been sitting quietly. Watching. Calculating. He stands now. Your Honor, my client is young. He made a mistake. We're prepared to pay the fine and accept the points on his license. Perhaps we can resolve this quickly. Sit down, Mr. Foster, Judge Caprio says. Not meanly, but firmly. We're not done here. Richard Foster sits. Slowly. He knows that tone. He's been a lawyer for 30 years. That tone means the judge has more to say. Judge Caprio looks back at Derek. Ms. Chun, is there anything else? Yes, Your Honor. Maria picks up another document. We subpoenaed Mr. Hannigan's text messages from the day of the incident. With the court's permission, I'd like to read some of them. Judge Caprio nods. Maria clears her throat. She reads from the paper. At 2:19 p.m., 2 minutes after the traffic stop began, Mr. Hannigan sent a text to a contact saved as Dad. The message reads, got pulled over. Fix it. Some cop named Peterson. She continues. At 2:23 p.m., he received a response. On it. Don't say anything else. At 2:31 p.m., Mr. Hannigan texted back. Dude already wrote the ticket. Handle it before it hits the system. At 2:45 p.m., another message from a father. Made calls. Should be taken care of. Next time be more careful. Mr. Hannigan's response at 2:47 p.m. Whatever. Thanks though. Love you. The room is dead silent. You can hear the ventilation system humming. The clock on the wall ticks. Someone's shoe squeaks against the floor. Rosa has tears in her eyes. She thinks about her daughter. Studying so hard. Working part-time while going to school. Doing everything right. Following every rule. And this man just calls his daddy when he breaks the law. Judge Caprio sets down the paper. He takes a breath. A long, slow breath. Mr. Hannigan, do you have anything to say? Derek looks annoyed now. Look, I get it. You're trying to make an example, or whatever. But can we just pay the fine and leave? I have plans today. I'm supposed to meet some friends at the club at noon. A man in the back row stands up. He's wearing a button-down shirt and khakis. His face is red. Your Honor, may I speak? Judge Caprio looks at him. Who are you, sir? My name is Thomas Bradley. I'm a teacher at Milton Street Elementary. I was there that day. I saw this car. I saw how close it came to hitting Emma Rodriguez. She's 7 years old. She was carrying her science project. She dropped it when the car flew by. It broke. She cried for an hour. His voice cracks. This man could have killed her, and he's worried about his club plans. Derek rolls his eyes. But I didn't hit her. That's the point. Everyone's fine. Everyone's fine. Thomas repeats. His hands are shaking. Emma still has nightmares. She's scared to walk near the street. Her parents had to take her to therapy. But sure, everyone's fine. Mr. Bradley, Judge Caprio says gently. Thank you. Please sit down. Thomas sits, but his hands are still shaking. Still angry. Judge Caprio looks at Derek. Really looks at him. Mr. Hannigan, I want to ask you something, and I want you to think before you answer. Do you believe you did anything wrong? Derek pauses. He seems to actually think about it. Then he says, I guess I was going a little fast. But the speed limits around here are stupid. They're too slow. Nobody follows them. That's not what I asked, Judge Caprio says. Do you think you did anything wrong? Not illegal. Wrong. Morally. Ethically. Humanly. Derek shrugs. I don't know. I didn't hurt anyone. Because you got lucky, Judge Caprio says. Not because you were careful. Luck. Random chance. The universe's coin flip. It came up heads instead of tails. If Emma had stepped into the street 1 second earlier, we'd be having a very different conversation. Probably in a different court. With different charges. Derek shifts uncomfortably. But she didn't. Because of luck, Judge Caprio repeats. Not because of you. You didn't make a good choice. You made a reckless choice that happened to not end in tragedy this time. Derek doesn't respond. He's looking at the floor now. His lawyer touches his arm. Don't say anything else, he whispers. Judge Caprio continues. And then, after this happened, after you nearly killed a child, after an officer did his job and pulled you over, after you broke the law in the most clear and obvious way, what did you do? You called your daddy. You used his power, his position, his influence. You corrupted the system designed to keep people safe. I didn't corrupt anything, Derek says. His voice is rising now, getting defensive. I just asked for help. That's what family does. They help each other. Help. Judge Caprio's voice gets louder. Not shouting, but powerful. Filling the room. Help is when your car breaks down and your father gives you a ride. Help is when you need advice and your father offers wisdom. Help is not using political power to erase your crimes. Derek's face is red now. They weren't crimes. It was a traffic ticket. 7 traffic tickets, Judge Caprio corrects. 7 times you broke the law. 7 times you endangered others. 7 times you used your father's position to make it disappear. And here you are, standing in my courtroom, still not understanding why that's wrong. Derek crosses his arms. Maybe because it's not wrong. It's just how things work. You know people. You use those connections. That's life. That's reality. That's corruption, Judge Caprio says flatly. Call it what you want, Derek shoots back. Everyone does it. Rich people. Poor people. Everyone's trying to get ahead. I'm just better at it because of who my dad is. He pauses. Then he says it. The words that will change everything. And honestly, you should understand that. You're just a city employee. You work for my dad. The city pays your salary. Same as it pays his. We're on the same team here. 10 seconds of complete silence. It's the kind of silence that feels loud. Like pressure in your ears. Like the world just stopped spinning. Everyone in the courtroom holds their breath. Judge Caprio's face doesn't change. He doesn't yell. He doesn't gasp. He just stares at Derek. And in that stare is 78 years of life. 30 years of being a judge. Decades of seeing humanity at its worst and best. All of it focused on this one young man who just said the worst possible thing. What did you just say? Judge Caprio asks. His voice is quiet. Dangerously quiet. Derek realizes his mistake. You can see it on his face. The confidence draining away. Being replaced by something else. Not fear yet, but the beginning of it. I just meant, like, we all work for the city. It's not disrespectful. It's just fact. I don't work for your father, Judge Caprio says. Each word is clear. Precise. I work for the people of Providence. I work for justice. I work for the law. I serve the Constitution. I answer to the citizens. Every single one of them. Rich, poor, connected, alone. I serve them all equally. He stands up from his bench. He's not tall, but right now he seems 7 feet high. Your father is the chief of police. That's true. He has power. That's true. But here, in this courtroom, in this place, his power means nothing. Your connections mean nothing. Your wealth means nothing. Here there's only the law. And you have broken it. Derek's lawyer stands. Your Honor, my client apologizes. He misspoke. He's under stress. Sit down, Judge Caprio says. Not angry. Just absolute. Final. Mr. Hannigan doesn't look stressed to me. He looks entitled. There's a difference. He picks up the file again. He flips through pages. Ms. Chun, you mentioned there were 7 previous incidents where tickets were dismissed. Do you have documentation of those? Yes, Your Honor. Maria looks like Christmas just came early. She's been waiting for this. She hands a thick folder to the clerk. The clerk distributes copies. Judge Caprio reads through them. His jaw tightens with each page. June 2023. Speeding. 55 in a 35. Dismissed. No reason given. September 2023. Running a red light. 3 witnesses. Dismissed. November 2023. Reckless driving. Weaving through traffic. Dismissed. February 2024. Expired registration. 3 months expired. Dismissed. May 2024. Illegal parking. Fire lane. Dismissed. August 2024. DUI checkpoint. Refused breathalyzer. Charge dropped. December 2024. Street racing. 2 other vehicles involved. Dismissed. He sets down the papers. Mr. Hannigan, this isn't a mistake. This isn't youthful error. This is a pattern. A pattern of believing you're above the law. A pattern of using your father's position to avoid consequences. A pattern of putting other people in danger and walking away clean. Derek's face has gone pale. His swagger is gone. He's starting to understand that his name won't save him here. Not today. Not in this room. Your Honor, his lawyer tries again. Perhaps we could discuss a plea agreement. No, Judge Caprio interrupts. No agreements. No deals. No backroom conversations. This ends now. Today. In front of everyone. He looks at Rosa. She's still sitting in the front row. Quiet. Patient. Holding her envelope of cash. Ms. Martinez, please approach. Rosa stands. Her legs feel weak. She walks forward. She stands next to Derek. The contrast is striking. Her simple dress next to his designer jacket. Her worn sneakers next to his expensive Jordans. Her humility next to his arrogance. Ms. Martinez, Judge Caprio says gently, you're here for parking violations. 3 tickets. Total of $150. Is that correct? Yes, Your Honor. Her voice is soft, respectful. She has an accent. Spanish is her first language, but her English is clear. Tell me about your work, he says. Rosa looks confused. My work? Yes. What do you do? I'm a home health aide, Your Honor. I take care of elderly people. I help them with daily tasks. Bathing, dressing, medicine, meals. How many hours a week do you work? About 75, Your Honor. I have 3 clients. Mrs. Peterson needs care in the morning. Mr. Wu needs help in the afternoon. Mrs. Kowalski needs overnight care twice a week. And these parking tickets. How did you get them? Rose's eyes fill with tears. I park on the street near their houses. Sometimes I forget to move my car for street cleaning. I'm inside helping them. I lose track of time. By the time I remember, the ticket is on my windshield. She wipes her eyes. I'm sorry. I try to remember. I set alarms on my phone. But sometimes they need help urgently. And I forget. Judge Caprio nods. How much do you make per hour? $14, Your Honor. He does the math in his head. So these tickets represent more than 10 hours of work for you. Yes, Your Honor. I saved for 2 months. I have the money. She holds up her envelope. Her hands shake. I can pay today. Judge Caprio takes the envelope. He doesn't open it. He just holds it. Then he looks at Derek. Mr. Hannigan, Ms. Martinez works 75 hours a week. That's more than double a regular job. She makes $14 an hour. She helps people who can't help themselves. She saved for 2 months to pay $150 in tickets that she got because she was busy caring for others. He pauses. You make what? In a year? Derek doesn't answer. His lawyer touches his arm. Don't answer that, he whispers. I'll tell you, Judge Caprio says. According to your social media. According to your tax returns which the prosecutor subpoenaed. According to your own bragging online. You don't make anything. You don't work. You live off a trust fund set up by your grandfather. That trust pays you $15,000 per month. You make more in one day than Ms. Martinez makes in a month of 75-hour weeks. He lets that sink in. The whole courtroom is listening, absorbing, understanding. And yet, when you break the law, 7 times, endangering lives, corrupting the system, you walk away clean. But Ms. Martinez, who helps people, who works herself to exhaustion, who forgot to move her car while changing an elderly man's bedpan, she has to scrape together money. She doesn't have to pay tickets she can't afford. Judge Caprio hands the envelope back to Rosa. Ms. Martinez, your tickets are dismissed. All 3. Take your money. Go home. Thank you for the work you do. The people you help are lucky to have you. Rosa stares at the envelope, then at the judge. Tears stream down her face. Thank you, she whispers. Thank you so much. You're welcome. You may go. Rosa walks back to her seat. She's crying openly now. Relief, gratitude, disbelief. The man behind her touches her shoulder. You deserve it, he says softly. Judge Caprio turns his full attention to Derek. Now, Mr. Hannigan, let's talk about your punishment. Derek's lawyer stands quickly. Your Honor, before sentencing, I'd like to request a recess to discuss options with my client. Request denied. Sit down. The lawyer sits. He knows when he's beaten. This train has left the station. All he can do now is try to limit the damage. Judge Caprio picks up a pen. He starts writing on the sentencing form. Derek James Hannigan. Case 2025, TR 94721. Reckless driving. 68 miles per hour in a 25-mile-per-hour zone. School zone. Children present. He looks up. How do you find? Guilty, he says. Obviously guilty. Derek opens his mouth to protest. His lawyer grabs his arm. Don't, he hisses. Judge Caprio continues writing. The fine for this offense is typically $500. However, given the circumstances, I'm enhancing that. Your fine is $8,000. Payable immediately. Today. Before you leave this courthouse. Derek's eyes widen. $8,000. That's right. That's approximately 572 hours of work for someone making Ms. Martinez's wage. That's 14 weeks of full-time work for an average person. For you, it's about half of 1 month's trust fund payment. You'll barely notice it, but you'll pay it anyway. Judge Caprio writes more. Additionally, your license is suspended. Effective immediately. For 180 days. 6 months. You will not drive. You will not operate a motor vehicle. If you're caught driving, you'll be arrested. If your father tries to interfere with that arrest, he'll be investigated for corruption. Do I make myself clear? Derek nods. He doesn't trust his voice. I didn't hear you, Judge Caprio says. Yes, Derek croaks. Clear. Good. But we're not done. Judge Caprio flips to a new page. You will complete 300 hours of community service. Those hours will be served as a crossing guard at Milton Street Elementary School, the same school where you almost killed Emma Rodriguez. Derek's head snaps up. What? You heard me. Every school day, morning and afternoon, you will help children cross the street safely. You will wear the reflective vest. You will hold the stop sign. You will ensure that no child is endangered by reckless drivers, just like you were a reckless driver. You can't make me. I absolutely can make you, Judge Caprio interrupts. It's called sentencing. I'm a judge. This is what I do. He leans forward. And here's the beautiful part. Your supervisor for those 300 hours will be Thomas Bradley, the teacher who spoke earlier, the one who watched you almost kill his student. He'll sign off on every single hour. If he says you were late, you were late. If he says you were disrespectful, you were disrespectful. If he says you didn't complete an hour properly, you'll do it again. He has complete authority over you. Thomas Bradley smiles from his seat. It's not a mean smile. It's a satisfied smile. Justice. Finally, Derek looks like he might be sick. I can't. I have things to do. I have a life. Then you should have thought about that before you drove 68 in school zone, Judge Caprio says simply. You'll start Monday, 7:15 a.m. Don't be late. School starts at 7:45. You need to be there before the kids arrive. He writes more. Additionally, you will write a letter of apology to Emma Rodriguez and her family. Handwritten, not typed, not written by your lawyer. Your own hand, your own words. It will be no less than 1,000 words. You will explain what you did wrong, not what you got caught doing, what you did that was wrong. You'll explain how your actions affected her. You'll explain what you learned. You'll deliver it to her personally, at the school, in front of Mr. Bradley. Derek's hands are shaking now. This is too much. Too much. Judge Caprio's voice rises. Too much. Let me tell you what's too much. A 7-year-old girl in therapy because you couldn't follow a speed limit. That's too much. 7 dismissed tickets because of corruption. That's too much. You standing in my courtroom telling me, I work for your father. That is too much. The courtroom erupts in applause. People clap. Some cheer. The bailiff doesn't stop them. Even he's nodding his head slightly. Judge Caprio holds up his hand. The room quiets. I'm not finished. He looks at Derek. You will also complete a defensive driving course. At your own expense. It's a 40-hour course. You'll attend every session. You'll pass the final exam. If you fail, you take it again. You don't get your license back until you complete it and pass. Furthermore, he continues, you are banned from social media for the duration of your probation. That's 18 months. No Instagram. No TikTok. No Twitter. No Facebook. Nothing. You will delete your accounts. If I find out you've posted anything, anywhere, you'll be held in contempt. You can't control what I do online, Derek protests weakly. Watch me, Judge Caprio says. You're on probation. Probation comes with conditions. This is one of them. Violate it and you go to jail. It's that simple. He adds more notes. You will also attend and complete 12 sessions of community impact education. That's a program where you meet with people affected by reckless driving, families who lost loved ones, people injured in accidents. You'll hear their stories. You'll write reports on what you learned. Those reports will be submitted to this court. Derek is pale now. Really pale. Like he might faint. His lawyer hands him a water bottle. He drinks it. His hands shake so much he spills some on his $900 jacket. He doesn't even notice. And finally, Judge Caprio says, the contempt charge. Contempt. Derek's voice is barely a whisper. Yes. Contempt of court. You disrespected this court. You disrespected me. You disrespected the law. You said I work for your father. That alone is contempt. The penalty is 30 days in the county jail. The courtroom gasps. Derek's lawyer jumps up. Your Honor, that's excessive. It's appropriate, Judge Caprio says firmly. And I'm feeling generous. So I'll give Mr. Hannigan a choice. He can spend 30 days in jail now. Immediately. Today. Or he can accept my alternative. What alternative? Derek asks desperately. You'll add 200 more hours to your community service. but not as a crossing guard. You'll work at the Providence Community Correctional Center. That's the county jail. You'll work in the kitchen. You'll prepare meals for inmates. You'll clean the dining area. You'll wash dishes. You'll mop floors. You'll see what jail looks like from the inside. And maybe, you'll realize how close you came to being an inmate instead of a worker. Derek doesn't even hesitate. I'll take the hours. Smart choice, Judge Caprio says. So let's add it all up. $8,000 in fines. 180 days license suspension. 500 total hours of community service. 300 hours as a crossing guard at the school. 200 hours working at the jail. Apology letter. Defensive driving course. Community impact education. Social media ban. 18 months probation. He sets down his pen. Do you have any questions? Derek shakes his head. Tears are running down his face now. Real tears. Not manipulation. Not performance. Real fear and shame and regret. Do you understand your sentence? Yes, Derek whispers. Louder. Yes, Your Honor. Do you accept this sentence? Derek looks at his lawyer. His lawyer nods slightly. There's no fighting this. There's no appeal that will work. This is it. This is justice. I accept, Derek says. Good. Judge Caprio makes a final note. Bailiff, take Mr. Hannigan into custody. He'll be processed for the community service program. He'll pay his fine at the clerk's office. His license will be confiscated. He'll receive his probation requirements in writing. He won't leave this building until everything is complete. The bailiff steps forward. Come with me, Mr. Hannigan. Derek turns to leave. His expensive sneakers squeak on the polished floor. His chains feel heavy around his neck. His watch feels like a weight on his wrist. All the stuff he was so proud of. All the things he thought made him special. They mean nothing now. He walks toward the door. Head down. Shoulders slumped. A totally different person from the one who walked in 2 hours ago. Judge Caprio stops him. Mr. Hannigan. Derek turns. Yes, Your Honor. I want you to know something. Judge Caprio's voice is softer now. Not kind, but not cruel. I don't think you're a bad person. I think you're a person who's never faced consequences. Never had to think about anyone but yourself. Never learned that your actions affect others. But you're young. You can learn. You can change. I hope you do. Derek nods. He can't speak. His throat is too tight. But know this, Judge Caprio continues. If I see you in my courtroom again, if you waste this opportunity, if you learn nothing from this, the next sentence won't be community service. It'll be jail time. Real jail time. Months. Maybe years. Depending on what you do. This is your one chance. Don't blow it. I won't, Derek manages to say. I promise. Promises are easy, Judge Caprio says. Actions are hard. Show me through actions. Derek nods again. Then he's gone, led away by the bailiff. The courtroom doors close behind him. The room lets out a collective breath. People are talking, smiling, nodding at each other. Justice happened. They saw it. They witnessed it. Rosa sits in her seat. She's still holding her envelope. Still crying. But these are happy tears. Relief. Validation. Someone saw her. Someone valued her work. Someone chose her over the rich kid with connections. Thomas Bradley shakes hands with the man next to him. Did you see that? He says. 300 hours. That kid's going to learn what responsibility means. Judge Caprio organizes his papers. He calls the next case. The court continues. Because justice doesn't stop. It keeps going. One case at a time. One decision at a time. Trying to make the world a little bit fairer. 3 months pass. It's a Wednesday again. Different season now. It's May. The weather is warmer. Trees are blooming. The courtroom windows are open. You can hear birds outside. Judge Caprio sits at his bench. He's reviewing files for the morning's docket. The bailiff brings in coffee. They talk about the Red Sox game last night. Normal morning. Regular day. Then the bailiff says, Judge, there's someone here to see you. Says you told him to check in. Judge Caprio looks up. Who? The door's open. Derek Hannigan walks in. He looks completely different. He's wearing simple clothes. Jeans. A plain gray t-shirt. Regular Nike sneakers. Not the expensive ones. The normal ones. His hair is less styled. Natural. His face is clear. No smirk. No attitude. He's carrying a folder. He walks forward slowly. Respectfully, Mr. Hannigan, Judge Caprio says. I didn't expect to see you. I know, Your Honor. I'm not required to be here. But I wanted to come. I wanted to show you something. He opens the folder. Inside are papers, forms, signatures. I completed all 300 hours at the school. Mr. Bradley signed off on every one. I was never late. Not once. I showed up every morning at 7:15. Every afternoon at 2:30. I helped kids cross the street. I learned their names. Emma Rodriguez. She talked to me. We became friends. She's not scared anymore. He pulls out more papers. I finished the 200 hours at the jail. I worked in the kitchen. I met inmates. I heard their stories. I saw how many of them made the same mistakes I was making, thinking they were special, thinking rules didn't apply. I saw where that path leads. I don't want to go there. More papers. I completed the defensive driving course. Got 98% on the final exam. I actually learned stuff, like how speed affects stopping distance, how reaction time works, why school zones exist. It's not about making people go slow for no reason. It's about protecting kids who might not look before they run into the street. He sets down a letter. I wrote this to Emma and her family. It's 1,247 words. I didn't count to hit the minimum. I just wrote everything I needed to say. I delivered it in person. Her mom cried. Then she hugged me. I didn't expect that. I didn't deserve that. But she forgave me. His voice cracks. I went to the community impact sessions. All 12. I met a woman named Carol. Her son was killed by a drunk driver. The driver was 22 years old. Rich kid. Never faced consequences before. Just like me. He got 6 years in prison. Carol's son got death. Forever. I think about that every day. He pulls out his phone. It's an old model. Not the latest iPhone. I deleted all my social media. At first I hated it. I felt disconnected. Left out. Then I realized I wasn't missing anything. It was all fake. The likes. The followers. The comments. None of it was real. None of it mattered. Judge Caprio listens. His face is neutral, but his eyes are interested. Engaged. Derek continues. I got a job. A real job. I work at a youth center in South Providence. I help kids with their homework. I teach basketball. I talk to them about making good choices. I make $16 an hour. It's not much, but I earned it. I didn't get it because of my dad. I got it because I applied and interviewed, and they like me. That feels different. Better. He pauses, takes a breath. My dad and I don't talk much anymore. I told him what I did was wrong. I told him that making those calls was corruption. He got mad. He said I didn't understand how the world works. I said maybe I understand better than he does. We haven't spoken in 6 weeks. It hurts, but it's the right thing. His hands are shaking slightly. I'm not telling you this to get out of probation early. I'm not asking for anything. I just wanted you to know that what you did worked. The punishment worked. The hard work worked. I'm different now. I'm better. I'm trying to be the kind of person who deserves a second chance. Judge Caprio is quiet for a long moment. Then he says, do you still have your license suspended? Yes, Your Honor. 3 more months. How do you get around? Bus. Bike. Sometimes I walk. It takes longer, but I leave earlier. I manage. How does that feel? Taking the bus. Derek smiles. It's a real smile. Small. Genuine. At first I hated it. I felt embarrassed. Then I met people. Real people. People going to work. People going to school. People living their lives without BMWs and trust funds. They were nice. They helped me when I didn't know which bus to take. I helped an old lady carry her groceries. She gave me a cookie. It was the best cookie I ever ate. Judge Caprio allows himself a small smile. What about Emma? How is she? She's good. Really good. She's not scared anymore. She waves at me every morning. She tells me jokes while she waits for the crossing light. Bad jokes. Kid jokes. They make me laugh. Last week she brought me a drawing. It's me in my crossing guard vest. She wrote, "Thank you for keeping us safe" on it. I have it on my fridge. Your fridge? Judge Caprio asks. You don't live with your parents anymore? No, sir. I got my own apartment. Nothing fancy. Studio in Federal Hill. I pay $900 a month. It's small, but it's mine. I clean it myself. I cook my own food. I pay my own bills. It's hard, but it feels good. Like I'm actually an adult now. Thomas Bradley enters the courtroom. He's been waiting outside. Your Honor? Sorry to interrupt. I wanted to be here for this. Mr. Bradley, Judge Caprio nods. Come in. Derek was just giving me an update. Thomas walks over to Derek. He holds out his hand. Derek shakes it. Judge, I have to say, this young man, he showed up every single day. Rain, snow, cold, hot, didn't matter. He was there. The kids love him. Parents trust him. He's done more than complete his hours. He's become part of our school community. Derek looks down. He's embarrassed by the praise. But it's clear he values it. In fact, Thomas continues, I talked to our principal. We'd like to offer Derek a paid position, part-time, as a permanent crossing guard, and maybe helping with after-school programs. If he's interested, if the court allows it. Judge Caprio looks at Derek. Are you interested? Very interested, Derek says immediately. Working with those kids, making sure they're safe, teaching them stuff. It's the best thing I've ever done. Better than anything I did before. Better than parties or clubs or posting on Instagram. This matters. This is real. Judge Caprio opens his computer. He pulls up Derek's file. He reads through the probation officer's notes. Your PO says you haven't missed a single check-in. You've passed all your drug tests. You've paid your fine in full. You've exceeded all requirements. He looks up. That's rare, Mr. Hannigan. Most people do the bare minimum. You've done the maximum. I didn't want to waste this chance, Derek says. You told me it was my only one. I believed you. Judge Caprio types something. Then he prints a document. He signs it. He stamps it. He hands it to Derek. Your probation is terminated. Effective today. Early termination based on exceptional compliance and demonstrated rehabilitation. Derek stares at the paper. Really? Really? You've earned it. You can get your license back in 3 months as originally scheduled. You'll need to retake the driver's test. But you're free from probation supervision. You're free to live your life. Make good choices. Derek's eyes fill with tears. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you so much. I won't let you down. Don't thank me, Judge Caprio says. Thank yourself. You did the work. You made the changes. You chose a different path. I just pointed you toward it. You walked it. Derek folds the paper carefully. He puts it in his folder. He looks at Judge Caprio. Can I ask you something? Of course. Why did you do this? Why did you care so much about one stupid kid who thought he was special? You could have just given me a normal fine and sent me home. Why did you work so hard to teach me a lesson? Judge Caprio leans back in his chair. He thinks about the question. Because I've been a judge for 30 years. I've seen thousands of people come through these doors. Some learn. Some don't. The ones who don't usually end up in worse places. Prison. Addiction. Death. I saw potential in you. Buried under all that arrogance and entitlement. I saw someone who could be better. If someone pushed you. Someone made you uncomfortable. Someone forced you to see the world through other people's eyes. He pauses. And because of Emma, that little girl, she could have died. Because you wanted to go fast. Because you thought speed limits didn't apply to you. I've seen cases where the ending was different. Where the child didn't get out of the way in time. Where parents had to bury their babies. Where drivers spent decades in prison knowing they killed someone. I didn't want that to be you. I didn't want that to be Emma. So I made sure you learned before it was too late. Derek nods. He wipes his eyes. I think about that every day. What could have happened? How close I came. It scares me. Keeps me awake sometimes. But then I see Emma in the morning. Smiling. Alive. Safe. And I remember why I'm doing this. Judge Caprio stands. He walks around the bench. He shakes Derek's hand. You're going to be okay, Mr. Hannigan. You've learned something important. Something most people never learn. Actions have consequences. Privilege is not a right. Respect is earned. And the most important work we do is the work that helps others. Derek shakes his hand firmly. I won't forget. I promise. I believe you, Judge Caprio says. And he means it. Derek leaves the courtroom. Thomas Bradley walks with him. They're talking about the school job. About schedules and pay and responsibilities. Derek is excited. You can hear it in his voice. Real excitement. Not the fake enthusiasm he used to have for clubs and parties and social media likes. Real joy from real purpose. Judge Caprio watches them go. Then he sits back down. The bailiff brings him another case file. "Ready for the next one, Judge?" "Ready," he says. The doors open. Another person walks in. Another case. Another chance to do what's right. To be fair. To see people as humans. To give consequences that teach rather than just punish. To believe in redemption. To have faith that people can change. This is his life's work. And he's good at it. Because he understands something important. Something fundamental. Something true. Justice isn't about revenge. It's not about making people suffer. It's about making things right. It's about protection. Education. Rehabilitation. It's about taking someone who's on a bad path and redirecting them. Sometimes gently. Sometimes firmly. Sometimes with force. But always with the belief that tomorrow can be better than today. That people can learn. That mistakes don't have to define you. That consequences, when fair and appropriate, can be the greatest teachers. And sometimes, just sometimes, it works. The lesson lands. The person changes. The world becomes a little bit safer. A little bit kinder. A little bit more just. Derek Hannigan was one of those times. One of the success stories. One of the people who listened and learned and grew. Judge Caprio will remember him. Among the thousands of faces that have stood before his bench, Derek will be one he remembers with satisfaction, with pride, with hope, because Derek proved something important. Something Judge Caprio has always believed but doesn't always get to see. That nobody is beyond saving. That privilege doesn't have to equal arrogance. That wealth doesn't have to mean isolation from reality. That young people who make mistakes can become adults who make amends. That justice, when done right, changes lives. Not just the life of the person being sentenced, but the lives they touch afterward. The children they protect. The families they help. The example they set. Emma Rodriguez will grow up safe. She'll cross streets without fear. She'll remember that once there was a man who drove too fast, and then there was a man who stood with a stop sign every morning, making sure she was okay, making sure every child was okay. She won't remember his name, but she'll remember feeling safe, and that matters. Rosa Martinez went home that day with her money still in her envelope. She paid her daughter's tuition. She bought groceries without counting pennies. She felt seen, valued, important, not invisible, not dismissible. She tells everyone about Judge Caprio, about the day justice happened, about the day the system worked for her instead of against her. Thomas Bradley teaches his students about consequences and choices. He uses Derek as an example, not as a cautionary tale, but as a redemption story. Someone who was headed down a bad road, who got stopped, who got redirected, who became better. His students listen. Some of them learn. Maybe they'll think twice before making the same mistakes Derek made. And Derek wakes up at 6:30 a.m. now. He makes coffee. He eats breakfast. He catches the bus to Federal Hill. He puts on his reflective vest. He picks up his stop sign. He stands at the corner of Benefit and Wickenden. He watches for kids. He waves at parents. He high-fives children. He keeps people safe. At night, he goes home. He makes dinner. He does laundry. He pays bills. He studies for college classes. He decided to go back to school. He's studying education. Maybe he'll be a teacher. Maybe he'll work with at-risk youth. Maybe he'll help other kids who are heading down the same path he almost went down. He's not rich anymore. Not really. He still has the trust fund, but he doesn't spend it on himself. He donates most of it to schools, to community centers, to programs that help kids. He lives on his salary, his $16 an hour. It's enough. It's more than enough, because he has something money never bought him before. Purpose, meaning, pride, real pride, not the fake pride that comes from expensive things, but the deep pride that comes from doing something that matters. He talks to Emma's class sometimes, about choices, about consequences, about second chances. He doesn't hide what he did. He owns it. He explains how wrong he was, how lucky he got, how he almost ruined multiple lives, including his own. The kids listen. Some of them come from money. Some come from nothing. But they all understand his message. That who you are matters more than what you have. That respect is earned. That your choices define you. That it's never too late to change. But it's better to not need to change in the first place. And every time Derek tells his story, every time he sees the kids listening, every time he watches them cross the street safely, he thinks about Judge Caprio, about that day in court, about the words that changed his life, I don't think you're a bad person. I think you're a person who's never faced consequences. Those words echo in his mind. They remind him. They guide him. They keep him on track. Because Judge Caprio was right. Derek wasn't bad. He was ignorant, entitled, blind, but not bad, not evil, just lost. And someone cared enough to help him find his way. That's what justice looks like. Not punishment for punishment's sake, but consequences that teach, that redirect, that save. That's what Judge Frank Caprio does every day. In his courtroom, with his wisdom, with his fairness, with his belief that people are worth saving. And sometimes, like with Derek, it works. The seed he plants grows. The lesson takes root. The person transforms. Those are the days that make it all worthwhile. The success stories, the redemptions, the second chances that actually work out. Those are the days Judge Caprio remembers. When he goes home, when he reflects on his career, when he thinks about the meaning of his work. He doesn't remember every case. He can't. There are too many. But he remembers the ones that matter. The ones where he made a difference. Where he changed a trajectory. Where he saw someone at their worst and helped them become their best. Derek Hannigan is one of those. A young man who walked into court with arrogance and entitlement and walked out with humility and purpose. A transformation. A success. A victory for justice. And in the end, that's what it's all about. Not the punishment. Not the revenge. Not the satisfaction of seeing someone brought low. But the hope. The belief. The faith. That people can be better. That mistakes can be lessons. That consequences can be teachers. That justice, when done right, heals rather than just hurts. That's Judge Caprio's legacy. That's his gift. That's his contribution to the world. One case at a time. One person at a time. One chance at a time. Making justice means something real. Something powerful. Something transformative. And Derek Hannigan stands at a corner in Providence, holding a stop sign, keeping children safe, living proof that it works. That justice matters. That second chances, when earned, can change everything. Money can buy many things. Designer clothes, expensive cars, powerful connections, social media followers, temporary happiness. But it cannot buy back time. It cannot undo harm. It cannot purchase respect. It cannot create meaning. It cannot build character. It cannot earn redemption. And in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, it definitely cannot buy justice. Justice is earned through accountability, through work, through change, through becoming someone worthy of a second chance. Derek earned his. He worked for it. He changed for it. He became better for it. And now he lives differently, thinks differently, acts differently. That's what real justice looks like. Not just punishment, but transformation. Not just consequences, but growth. Not just accountability, but redemption. That's the lesson. That's the truth. That's the legacy of Case 2025 TR 94721. The case where a police chief's son learned that his father's badge meant nothing in a courtroom where justice is blind, where privilege is invisible, where only the law and the truth matter, where Judge Frank Caprio sits on the bench, watching, listening, judging, fairly, always fairly, for everyone, every single time. That's justice. Real justice. Equal justice. The kind that changes lives and builds better people and creates safer communities and proves that the system, when led by people who care, can actually work. That's the story. That's the truth. That's what happened the day Derek Hannigan told a judge, "You work for my dad," and learned the hardest lesson of his young life. The lesson that would save him, transform him, remake him into someone worth respecting, someone worth knowing, someone making the world better instead of worse. That's justice. And it's beautiful.